Welcome to another AFC Rapid Fire reaction, guys. This is being recorded after match day 9. I'm going to try my best to keep this concise and keep this rapid, but trust me, I have a lot more to say. If you want to see more flushed out, detailed, controversial, some even say diabolical long-form videos recapping everything happening in Asian World Cup qualifying, make sure you're subscribed because I drop group by group videos just like that every single window. And this being the conclusion of round 3, those videos are about to be epic. So don't miss those and don't miss all the other AFC related videos dropping here on DeadBall TV. If you guys could smash the like button, that'd be much appreciated. Let's get into this. We're going to go in the order of the groups, starting with Group A and starting with Uzbekistan 0, UAE 0. I did a live watch along. It was a great time. I appreciate all of you guys who were active in the chat. I'll be going live again for Jordan Iraq next Tuesday, but that's neither here nor there. Now, it wasn't a very good game for the Uzbeks. I thought Yusupov was hands down the man of the match. I think he's been the MVP of qualifying for Uzbekistan. Outside of him, Faisal played well, but it was a pretty average Uzbek performance. But guess what? Nobody cares because they did enough. They got the point that they needed, and now they're the 81st team to ever qualify for the World Cup, Uzbekistan's first ever appearance at the World Cup. So huge congratulations to the White Wolves and all the Uzbek fans out there. Massive achievements. Now on the UAE side, was it a terrible game? No, it wasn't a terrible match, but I feel like they left it a little too late. And I know Kosmin has come in here as the new manager and he's replaced Paulo Bento, and I've talked about my thoughts on that many times on the channel. But what I thought was really puzzling is leaving Yahya Al-Ghassani and Harib Abdullah on the bench until the second half, because I would consider Harib Abdullah UAE's MVP of qualifying so far, and Yahya Al-Ghassani is one of their best players as well. So maybe they were injured. Some Emirati will have to let me know in the comments, but really weird decision from Kosmin in his first game. And I think this just restarts the Paulo Bento debate, which I am still ongoing with some Emirati fans to this day. Where I think Paulo Bento could have got a draw in this game. And I think we could have seen the UAE perform this well under Paulo Bento. So I don't think Kosmin has really validated his appointment yet. I don't have a strong opinion on him because it's only been one match. So I will be fair. I will wait until the end of qualifying to firmly make an opinion on whether it was a good move or not. But for a game that the UAE needed to win to keep direct qualification alive, kind of a puzzling approach. Moving on to Iran 0, Qatar 1. Massive win for Lopetegui in his first game as Qatar manager. You take down Iran in qualifying. I mean, it's like when they took down the cave troll in Harry Potter, the first one. They're like, not many first years live to tell the tale. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Qatari managers beating Iran. I just want to say that I kind of told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys Qatar were going to get points, especially because Iran were missing all of their best players. And I just want us to stop with this completely false narrative that Qatar are ass cheeks. Can we stop with that narrative? They don't suck. They're just really inconsistent. And the defense is terrible. But the offense, this is one of the best attacks in Asia. With the best attacking midfielder in Asia, and Akram Afif. Stop playing with these guys. Like, we need to stop treating Qatar like it's some sort of layup game for the Uzbeks. Or some sort of layup game for Iran. That's called hubris. That's arrogance. That is not true, especially Qatar at home. Qatar at home, they already beat Uzbekistan. And I told you guys that they were going to beat Uzbekistan. Nobody wanted to listen to me. And now they get another win against Iran. I know it's rotated, but still, it's another big result for Qatar at home. And if these guys are hosting the round 4 games, as is being reported, I think they qualify for the World Cup. I think with Lopetegui, I back the appointment. I back this Qatari attack. If he can just make the defense a little bit better, held their first clean sheet in qualifying, by the way, against Iran. I'm saying these guys are going to be scary in round 4. I guess I'm back on it. I'm back on the wagon. And I never thought I'd be saying those words again. On the Iran side, this is Iran's first loss of qualifying. They did have a chance to jump Japan in the FIFA rankings, but I think that might be impossible now that Iran's playing North Korea, Japan's playing Indonesia. I'm not going to draw any huge conclusions, or at least any new conclusions from this game for Iran, because they're missing 5 of their 6 best players. And I think to drag them too much for that would be unfair. But what I will say is the number one issue with this team and with Galinoy as manager is the mentality of this team and the focus of this team and the discipline of this team. It's all intangibles with Iran. There are some personnel concerns like Baron Vaughn, who looks like he's finished. And these Iranian center backs are just bad, man. And their fullbacks, dude, they used to have like the most scary, dangerous fullbacks in Asia. And Now it just looks like they're kind of part of the pack again. And anyways, I don't want to get down that road, but Gallinoi is a manager who gets crucified a lot. I would say he's probably one of the most hated managers in international football. Is he overhated? Absolutely, he's overhated. But the one part of the criticism that I have always agreed with is he doesn't prepare this team mentally enough. There's no consequences. He doesn't keep them focused. When a team is undisciplined, Iran are getting red cards left and right. That comes down to the manager. That's the biggest thing, that if Gallinoi leaves, the next guy will have to fix. You need to punish players who perform like this, who act like this, who put the team in jeopardy like this. If the next guy can do that, then at least Iran will have a prayer and a shot. I'm not going to say a prayer. That was disrespectful. A legitimate shot to make the knockouts. But if they have a bad defense, a bad goalkeeper, and a bad mentality, grouped once again, guaranteed. Let's move on to North Korea 2, Kyrgyzstan 2. Bro, North Korea almost had it, man. My prediction was sailing. They were up 2-0. And full credit to the Kyrgyz Republic for coming back. Down 2-0 away from home. Yo, when was the last time Kyrgyzstan came back down 2-0 away from home? I don't know if that's happened in the history of the national team. And if it has ever happened, I guarantee you it was against Bhutan, which being down 2-0 against Bhutan is already shocking. But that's probably the caliber of national team that it was against. This is a huge statement for Kyrgyzstan. I know both of these teams are eliminated. And honestly, they should be eliminated. They're the two worst teams in this group. I don't really think it's debatable. But this, to me, was a statement from Kyrgyzstan, that they got a result like this. And I do consider this a result, a positive result, away from home. Now they are playing the UAE in a meaningless game in Bishkek. I predicted them to beat the UAE before. I'm still predicting them to beat the UAE. I still think Bishkek is the scariest place, arguably, in Asia to go play. And these guys, man, I think they're going to end their campaign, even though it's technically ended now, with a positive. North Korea, they got Iran next. I mean, if they get a point, Gallinoi's out, absolutely. But they're Stormtrooper FC, man. A lot of shots, no accuracy, no defense. It is what it is. You're not going to qualify like that. Moving on to Group B, Jordan 3, Oman 0. What a result. What a freaking result. I thought Jordan were going to win. And I thought Jordan could win. But I didn't think it would be comfortable. And I'm not going to use the word demolition, because I don't think it was a demolition. But comfortable is a fair adjective to use to describe this Jordan performance. Shout out to Ali Owan. This man loves playing Oman. This man loves to play against the Omani national team. If he played against Oman every single day, what would his stats be like with the national team? He'd probably be the all-time top goal scorer by now. But I thought everybody was great. Despite Jordan missing some guys. No Al Mardi. He's been huge in qualifying. No Al Rashdan. Been great in the midfield. Al Rawabde did not play. He's not back yet. He's not fully fit. Haddad, I think the starting right wing back, the team captain, also went down. They were missing 4 starters. Jordan. And they won 3-0 away in Muscat. I don't know what this is. I don't know what is going on here that they are just destroying Oman. Is it a bad matchup? Do the Jordanians hate the Omani? Is there something I'm missing here? Are Jordan just that much better? I know Jordan are better, hands down, but this much better? I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a 2-1 dogfight. Oman were going to show up and dig deep. I guess they showed up and kind of dug in a little bit in the first half, but it just wasn't a good performance. And outside of Al-Sahibi missing a one-on-one, which was a great save, they didn't really threaten that much at all. And this has kind of been Oman's problem. It's like if the other team scores goals, you're going to beat Oman. Like that's just, if you score 2 goals in the game, you're beating Oman. They cannot score more than once. And so when Oman scored the second, it was done. And then they get a third. Al-Naima was great. Al-Tamari was fantastic in this game. To me, this feels very validating for what I've been saying about Jordan for a long time, which is they're a top 5 team in Asia. Like, it really does feel like that has come to pass. And I got so much hate from other people saying I didn't know what I was talking about. I was bandwagoning Jordan, which I didn't even know you could bandwagon Jordan. I think I'm leading the bandwagon. So if it's my truck, if it's my wagon, can I be bandwagoning? I'm just driving. Y'all are bandwagoning anyways. And I got a lot of, comments from Omani supporters as well, telling me that I hate Oman, that they're actually a good team, which they're not, bro. Stop lying to yourself. Oman's not a good team. They're an average Asian team, and if you're an average Asian team, you're not good. And I'm surprised that Jaber who's done very well as manager so far. I'm surprised that it was this bad in a must-win game at home. That shocks me a little bit. So huge win for Jordan. Because of the Iraq result, they have also directly qualified for their first ever World Cup. And I think I just can't put into words how excited I am to see these guys at the World Cup. I really think they're going to shock people, and they fully deserve it. They put together such a good qualifying campaign. Yeah, there were a couple downs, but overall, really, really good from Jordan. The 82nd team to ever qualify for the World Cup. And now Oman are still in it, having to play Palestine on the last day, but I don't want to talk about that too much. Moving on to Iraq 0, South Korea 2. This was not a very good game for Iraq. I thought before the red card, it was a bit more even in the sense that they had a couple shots and Korea weren't really doing anything, but Al-Khamadi gets a red. Is it harsh? Yes, it's harsh, but it's also stupid on his part, so I'm not going to talk about that much more. It just wasn't good enough from Iraq, and this is becoming a theme. It's been a theme of their qualifying campaign, especially at home in Basra. I expected them to take 4 wins and 1 draw here. Guys, they had 2 wins from 5 at home. That is so inexplicably bad for Iraq. And this was their first loss at home in a competitive game since 2011 when, ironically, Jordan beat them 2-0. Now, I don't think you can draw any conclusions about Graham Arnold from this game because the red card completely destroyed whatever game plan he was trying to roll out with. But I think you can take away that Iraq, once again, just not good enough. I thought outside of Youssef Amin and Tassid, the center back, nobody was good enough. Nobody else really showed up and looked like they wanted to make a difference, 10 men or not. Speaking on the 10 men, if you want to argue that Iraq should have gotten a draw here because Graham Arnold's amazing at draws, that's fair. That's fair, but the players, man, they have to be better. They either have to be better or you have to lower your expectations. One of those has to happen. For Korea, Hwang amazing. Should have had multiple assists in this game. Lee Gang-in, quiet in the first Iraq game. Not today. I thought he was Mr. South Korea. They did not miss Sung Kyo-min really that much because Lee Gang-in was that good. He was beating his man consistently. A lot of little sneaky through balls, near hockey assists. He was great. He was really, really great. And if Hwang Hee-chan was not on fraud watch, this could have been ugly for Iraq, man. This could have been an all-time embarrassing result. There's a universe where this game ends 4-0. EJ Sung, header off the post. Hwang Hee-chan misses a sitter back post. I want to say he missed 2 sitters. This could have been a 4-0. So I actually think the 2-0 is a bit flattering for Iraq. And I'm going to say right now, I know the Jordan game doesn't really mean that much. Although it's said that if you are third in your group that you have a higher chance of hosting round 4. Again, I don't know if that's validated or not, but whatever. They need to beat Jordan. You have to go out and beat Jordan. This team needs a resetting result. Needs a statement performance to turn things around. Because right now, it's an all-time low. Losing at home in this manner with a new manager, down to 10 men, in a game where you should have lost by 4, it's an all-time low now for the Iraq national team, at least since I started watching them. So I hope these guys get it together, but they're running out of time. Next game, Kuwait 0, Palestine 2. I think I was the only person on earth outside of ethnic Palestinians and Kuwaitis who were watching this game instead of the other ones that were happening at the same time. But I wasn't disappointed, man. Kuwait-Palestine is one of the best fixtures in Asia. If you guys don't watch these games, you're sleeping. I picked Palestine to win because Palestine have been the better performing team. They're the more talented team, and I think they've been more unlucky than Kuwait, and all of those proved to be true. Kuwait, I kind of look at them like this. They've outperformed what everybody expected of them in this round. But in games in which the opposition does not make a critical error, like Yazan al-Arab in the first game against Jordan, or in which Mohamed Daham or Youssef Nasser single-handedly bails them out with moments of pure class, and both of them were outstanding in this qualifying cycle. When those don't happen, or when both of those don't happen in the same game, Kuwait's not good, and they're not getting results. They are still a poor national team. Talent-wise, they are still one of the weaker teams in round 3. They overperformed, almost beat Iraq away, but I think Palestine winning is a fair result. I think Palestine probably should have won the first one, and now the Palestinians get to play Oman in a, winner-takes-all, I guess, to round 4, and it's just going to be fantastic to see. They're such a good attacking side. If Palestine and Jordan became 20% more consistent, they'd start beating the elite teams in Asia on a frequent basis. Moving on to Group C, Australia 1, Japan 0. I also did a live stream for this. The game was awful. I'm going to keep my thoughts really short on this one. Australia, huge win, massive moment from Aziz Behich. congratulations to the Socceroos. They're pretty much through to the World Cup as long as they don't lose 3-0 away to the Saudis. And personally, I don't see this Australia team leaking 3 goals against anybody. Argentina, Spain, Japan, much less the Saudis. So I kind of think they got in the bag, and I'm sorry if I'm putting the YouTuber jinx on you guys right now, but I just don't see the Saudis able to do that. And honestly, I kind of back Australia to win the game even if they really want to. What else do I want to say? Executed their game plan perfectly from the Australians. This is why they're always a top side in Asia, because beating the Australians is near impossible. And they were able to play Japan twice in this cycle, and they didn't lose. You could say it's luck. You could say it's strategy. You could say it's determination. It's probably a mixture of all three, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, they get the result that they needed. And yeah, barring a historic collapse, they've also qualified to yet another World Cup. So congratulations to Australia. From the Japan side, man, I'll talk more about this in the long-form recap video, but an embarrassing performance. An embarrassing approach, much more so than the performance. I can't really blame a bunch of 18, 20, 22-year-old J-League and Swedish League guys for not beating Australia in a competitive World Cup qualifier away from home. I'm not going to do that. I think that would be unfair. But I think Japan are bordering on a level of arrogance that will sink them at the World Cup. And I actually think they're in a lot of danger at the next World Cup to underachieve. Because I think similar to Iran, mentally, this team is weak. I don't think Moriyasu's a leader. I don't think he sets the example. I don't think how they've approached qualifying is beneficial to them moving forward. I think there's nothing better in terms of World Cup preparation than playing an Australian team that absolutely cannot lose, an Australian team away from home, an Australian team that you couldn't beat in Japan, with either your A team or at least your B team guys. And 8 of the 11 guys who started this game probably either won't or should not make the 2026 World Cup squad. So what are we doing? If you want to play a bunch of kids, that's what friendlies are for. Don't disrespect Australia. Don't disrespect World Cup qualifying like that. Moving on to Indonesia 1, China 0. I feel like I got this spot on in my prediction. I felt like China dug deep, didn't really concede a lot of good chances to Indonesia. You could even argue that in this game, Indonesia had a worse both volume and quality of chances against China than they did against Bahrain at home, Saudi Arabia at home, and even Japan at home. I feel like Australia at home is the only game where Indonesia generated less. They really didn't do much in that game, but full credit to China. I felt like their center backs were going off. Everybody was hustling and putting in a shift. And then the penalty happens, and it's a stupid-ass penalty. And, I mean, the Indonesian attacker is dribbling out of bounds. Like, there's no goal-scoring threat at all. Is the contact a lot? No. It's a bit of a... Is it a harsh penalty? It's not even a harsh penalty. It's just really, really stupid. And I don't blame the ref for doing it. Ali Ramani steps up, converts, and that was pretty much game. Because if you guys have seen China try to possess the ball and attack, it is one of the worst things you could ever put yourself through. There's no attacking talent in this team whatsoever. And yeah, outside of set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks, nothing. Own goals, man. They're relying on own goals in the opposition. Like, there's just nothing here. But for Indonesia, they are going to qualify for round 4. Even if they don't make it to round 5 and they finish last, huge achievement for this national team based on where they were 2 years ago to now. I mean, the ascension has been crazy. They're going to play Japan away in Japan. And based on how Japan are approaching this stuff, maybe Indonesia could get something. And I'm still going to keep the challenge that try to get a draw or better. Try to do better than what Vietnam did last cycle. This Indonesian team is way better than that Vietnam team, so it's definitely a possibility. But not the greatest performance from either side, but the Indonesians, much like the Uzbeks, won't care. They did what they needed to do, got the points they needed, and now they're not really through to the World Cup, but they're through to round 4. And lastly, Saudi Arabia 2, Bahrain 0. I think one of the weirdest games of match day 9, where the first half was 100% the Saudis. They destroyed Bahrain. Bahrain looked awful for a game playing at home in which they needed to win. They couldn't even draw. They needed to win to keep their hopes alive. Al Burakan misses a one-on-one. Al Dawsari misses a one-on-one. The Saudis have counter after counter after counter, and every single one was ruined either by Al Dawsari shooting from outside the box, feeling himself a little bit too much, thinking that this is the NBA and there's a three-point line, or Mohamed Kano having a stinker. Like, he was terrible in this game. Had a lot of really bad passes, bad touches, bad giveaways. Probably the worst Kano game I've ever seen for the Saudis, outside of when he got a straight red against China, that is. Not a good qualifying cycle for Mr. Kano, but Saudis do score through Musab Jawer. I think he's going to be one of the best midfielders in Asia in like 5 years. I'm actually really, really bullish on him as a Saudi prospect. And it looks like the Saudis are going to run away with it. Then the second half starts. It's all Bahrain. I counted 4 amazing inside the box, borderline open net chances, and they couldn't score. And it was really a Jekyll and Hyde performance from both of these teams. I thought the first half was probably the Saudis' best half of qualifying. Simultaneously was Bahrain's worst half of qualifying. And then the second half, complete opposite. Bahrain's best half of qualifying, certainly when it comes to chance creation. And the Saudis just got cooked. I'm not going to say it's their worst half. Their worst half was the first half against Indonesia. That is the worst half they have ever played in qualifying this cycle. But Bahrain were uncharacteristic in the fact that they've been clinical in these games. They create a few good chances. They kind of thrive off chaos, and they're able to score. Well, they created a lot of chaos in the second half. And they had a lot of chances. They outshot the Saudis in this game. None of them were on target. Al Aswad was off. Markoun was off. They just didn't have anything to put in the back of the net. Kept the game open. Saudi scores second, and that's it. But anybody think this was a Renard masterclass, bro? Absolutely not. This was a butt-clenching game from the Saudis. They do enough here, and they still technically could finish in second, but they're not going to beat the Australians by 3. So they're going to go to round 4, and if they host, I think they're in a good spot. But if they have to go away to Qatar, if Qatar are hosting round 4, or if Iraq hosts round 4, this team is in trouble. But anyways, yeah, I wasn't really that impressed. I think the 2-0 really flattered the Saudis in the end, but it is what it is. Football's not fair, and so be it. Bahrain are eliminated. They're going to play China now in a meaningless game. I will still care about it, though, and I'm curious to see what happens. But anyways, guys, that has been your rapid-fire reaction to Matchday 9 in Asian World Cup qualifying. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the like button. Reminder that I'll be going live for Jordan versus Iraq on Tuesday, and I got like 50 other AFC videos on the channel that you can look forward to. So hit subscribe for that. Let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.